Ready to rock and roll, man?
Yeah, get it.
welcome to another episode of Trucker Talk, man. It's been a couple of weeks, man, about 2 or 3 weeks. But how you doing today, my brother?
Man, I'm good.
Well, the message today, it was a good message.
Yeah.
Sometimes, I don't know, it resonates with me just by the way he delivers it, you know? And so I was talking to your boy Preston for a little bit. Preston, he a little messy, man. He a little messy, man. But anyways, today's a beautiful day. My week has been a good week. I was reflecting a little bit because my birthday hit. So I think sometimes when you reflect, you try to, I mean, you can't undo things that you went through, but you just try to process it. And it hits you I don't know, just hits you when you get older. Well, I can't speak for everybody. I'm just speaking for myself because a lot of other people, they still doing the same thing they've been doing. So I don't know, it hit me a little different, but I feel good. I've reflected on some things and I'm working on some other things, and I think I'm headed in the right direction.
Well, I think as long as you're working on it and you a positive progress.
Yeah. Well, and that's the game plan. So so your week, how was your week, brother?
It been challenging this week. It's a challenging week this week. So I had a lot of events a lot of situations going on, but everything was manageable.
I like that.
Made
But
it through it.
it's how you respond to it,
Yeah,
though. That's
yeah.
the important thing.
One step at a time.
All how you respond to it. So today we're going to talk about being overworked and underpaid. A lot of people don't want to talk about it, but I've worked many jobs where I listen to a lot of people they're frustrated, they don't know what to do, or they financially over their head, or they overliving their means. So have you ever given everything, and this gonna hit me hard. Have you ever given everything you had to a job, stayed late, skipped breaks, covered shifts, and still felt invisible? Today, we're talking about being overworked and underpaid and the toll it takes on your mental health, your family, and your future. So, what does overworked and underpaid really mean?
Well, I mean, that's one of those personal preferences and the personal issues that each person has individually. Because I never felt, even though I've been in this company for 25 years, and I started out gung ho, and I was doing what I was doing. I don't think it was so much it was trying to impress or trying to do better than the next person. I think, and we talk about character,
Right.
it's what you do, how you feel
Yeah.
about it's how you feel about what you do that allows you to do it either to your best or not to your best.
Right.
I've never to the point where, of course, we all want to make more money. That's why we get up every single day to make more money or to make money. But
Right.
we always want more. Even if they give us more, we won't want more after that. That's just life, And I think that over my years, I've never felt like I've been feeling like I want more money. But of course, every company has a I guess it would not necessarily call it a barrier, but there's a point where this is what we start out making, or this is what you end up making. But there's going to be a cap, and there's a beginning. And in between there is where you got to fit in. In order to make more, you take on, so they say, more responsibilities to get
Right.
to the next step or to that next position in the company. But I've never felt like I've been underpaid. Just that I wanted more for what I did. That just
Man, come on,
Yeah.
George.
No, I never feel like I've been on the paper because you think about what we do. If you look at it and I look at it from a business standpoint, if everybody wanted more for what they did, companies would actually literally have to raise prices for everything, which then the domino effect of that is how much more is going to sell now
Right.
because we having to raise the standards or raise the pricing of this in order to pay, say, this person wants. And we talked about this before. We as Americans, what we decide, we want every holiday off, we want
Right.
8 to 5, want to get off to go to the Suns basketball game. If UT is playing, we're going to be off that Saturday or in that Monday because you're going to be hungover probably from just celebrating. And it's like, who's going to do the work if you want all these stipulations, and if you want this 401k match, you want holiday pay, you want maternity leave, you want you want all these things that's going to eventually cost companies money.
It does.
And if everybody's wanting more and more and more, which they can do that, but at what point do we stop raising our prices so we can accommodate what you want? Because we get mad if we don't get that Friday night off or that Saturday night off, and that's kind of leading to what we're talking about too. Is feeling guilty about calling out, on the day, because that's what we got.
We're gonna come back.
Yeah, we're gonna come back to it.
We're gonna come back there.
That's what we talked about all week, because I had to do that, and I felt. Right. And we'll get into it as we go along with it. But yeah, I never really felt underpaid. Yeah, I always wanted more money, but I think for what I did, it was comfortable to other companies, and that's what they say. And this is what other companies are paying. Even when you apply for your job, different truck drivers, they change. Somebody can pay more, somebody can pay a little bit less, but it's gonna be within a rim of they're about the same.
What I'm just saying, speaking from my experience, just like what I experienced, and the reason I'm gonna say, when I was at Coca-Cola, I was underpaid. Pepsi, they made $10,000 more than what I made. So, of course, when I was young, and I'm still young. When I was young, and I decided to leave Coca-Cola to go to Cisco, I had a $20,000 immediately increase.
Yes,
I'm talking about the difference in pay.
Yeah,
I didn't know that I was at Coke for 12 years, but 3 years I merchandised. I drove for 9. So I didn't know, and there are still people that will stay there. They, for financial reasons, kids or marriage, whatever they got going on, they will stay, and just because they're comfortable with it.
Yeah.
And everything is going smooth, and they may have I was about to say a spouse or somebody that kind of offsets their income, so they can stay there. But me,
you had to leave.
I left because of my mental health, and I left because I was overworked, and I was my person, I was underpaid.
So you also what's that word been thrown around all week?
I'm trying not to say it, cantankerous.
Yeah.
Well, the jobs may be cantankerous. Coca-Cola may be cantankerous.
That was a personal choice.
Cisco may be cantankerous. They all because of the stress.
But when you left Cisco, but think about it. We talk about this too. Companies pay you. They don't give you. You earn. And at Cisco, I think you told me you actually worked harder than at with Coke.
It was the difference in Coke and Cisco was because at Coke, you pull up to a gas station. You had the gas stations, the dollar stores, the CVS,
small stores, yes,
the Walgreens. Then back when Kmart was around, we had Kmarts. So you're in a parking lot now. Cisco, you in the mountains, you
see the difference?
You going to different areas. And my experience with Cisco, I was out of state. I went to Atlanta, I went to Georgia, Virginia, Kentucky, all them different areas, man. I went to Mississippi one time, and I got in trouble. I ran out of time, but I don't know. They sent me out there. They was like, well, you can run down there. And the guy, I'm not gonna say his name, he was the manager at the time.
You can run down there like it's like down the street.
You talking hours away, and I'm out in the middle of nowhere. And I'm just like, I'm following my GPS, and I had a Rhine, so I unloaded Rhines. It was a good amount. I'm driving back, and I'm looking at because if you're a truck driver, you can only drive 11 hours technically in a day. You can work a 14-hour day. Worst case scenario, if you have an emergency, you can work 1 16-hour in a week. But you got your what's the word? Okay, because when you extend into that 16 hours, it gives you an extra 2 hours. But that's like I said, you can only get 1 16-hour day in a week. So, but yeah, I drove down there, man. I was just like, man. He told me, "Oh, man, you'll be good. This and that." And I'm on my way back. I'm in violation, and then my other boss, he got upset with me.
Domino effect.
And I said, he told me that I was okay. He said that I was good, even though I had 11 hours to drive in a day. If you add it up, it's about 5 hours or something down. And he wasn't thinking about the traffic coming back. I couldn't. I mean, again,
working
through your break. Yeah. Because basically, and I want to say I work. I don't want to say I worked to my break, but at that time, I mean, what do
Yeah.
you do? So by the time you stop and do this and that, you didn't. I didn't have time for nothing. But that's
But
the position that I was put in.
and also
So
there was the offset in that price increase that you were getting paid more because of course your responsibilities became a lot greater
well,
as well.
it was, but and I mean, even now, I guess. Well, Coke has changed now compared to what it used to
Yeah.
be, and I think they get paid. Well, they get paid more now. That was almost 9 years ago.
Yeah.
They get paid more now, of course, than what I was getting paid
Yeah.
then.
Yeah. But even
And
now,
so
when you're getting paid, you still is the compensation is getting paid because there's a lot more responsibility in your job now. I mean, you
it
are.
is.
I mean, it's almost like I would say ain't double, but it's pretty high level
I wouldn't say
responsibility.
double. It's just the magnitude of the
Yeah.
lifting.
Yeah.
Like, because when I look at Coke, you stock coolers. You're stacking off the truck. With this job, you're running up and down a ramp, and the stuff is heavier,
Mhm.
obviously, and you're dealing. I mean, it's still gas stations, but we're not stocking nothing. We're just unloading,
Right.
food products. Make sure you put the cooler items in the cooler,
Right.
in the freezer items in the freezer. Then you got your dry stock, and then your totes. So to be fair, yes, the job responsibilities, you correct. It was different. But I still felt like I was I'm still
Yeah.
gonna argue with
But we
I still
still.
felt like I was
Yeah,
underpaid
we always gonna
and
feel like we're
overworked.
underpaid because we all want more because we want more in life. So,
Well, I think we deserved more back then
but it's
because
true.
we
Yeah.
did a lot. I mean,
Yeah.
I had the carpal tunnel going on. I'm talking
Hmm.
about I was working to your hands numb,
My goodness.
you sucking down them energy. I would drink 4 energy drinks in a day trying to stay awake, trying to run up and down Maynardville Highway.
Yeah.
So I was younger then, I can do it. Now I couldn't do it. So, but as far as that, and I had it out with a supervisor. I recorded this on another episode. I had it out with a supervisor because I felt overworked, but I felt like me and you had this conversation. I felt like I wasn't. I mean, I didn't felt like I wasn't valued, but felt like I was getting treated differently. And I voiced my opinion, and we had a coming to Jesus moment, and it was good. And what I didn't realize is that he was pushing me for greatness. And I think I told you this. I'm gonna
Yeah.
say it again.
Yep.
He expected this out of me. He didn't expect this out of other people, but he just kept pushing and pushing me. And he was one of the reasons that I was the driver that I am today. Even
Yeah.
though I got mad at him, it was still good for me. So as far as long hours, like the thing, as far as we talking about it being you got the long hours, with little appreciation, and I'm gonna go to Cisco, and like I said, I was working more hours. So once, and I always screwed it. I always screw up when I go to jobs because I call it hide, and I try to be like, just kind of like, because you got your really good employees, you got your so, and you got the ones at the bottom. So I try to hide in the middle, but no matter where I go, I'm always, I mean, it's just my character, it's who I am. It's just
There
my
you
work
go.
ethic.
That word we talk about all the
So
time, character.
when they discovered that I can work almost 14 hours, I was at it for 14 hours a day. In the beginning, I wasn't because I was learning and just trying to understand
Mhm.
it. So I did feel a little I didn't feel appreciated because of the way they would do me. And I
Right.
voiced my opinion because, like I said, you had other guys, they would just be like, here you go. And again, it prepared me and it made me a better driver. And the experience that I got, I'm still grateful for that. But it pushed me out of my comfort zone, is what
Right.
it
Right.
did.
Right.
So, but I had, more responsibilities without more pay, but feeling, well, sometimes you can feel replaceable despite giving your best.
Yes.
But they can, and when I left Coke, you said, but I was like, man, I asked, I ain't gonna say his name, but I asked him, I said, hey, you want me to trade? He said, nah, you good, man. I'm
Yeah.
thinking like, man, you don't want me to trade him? I'm like, but you didn't want to give him the route when I told you I didn't want the route, but
Yeah.
y'all stuck me on it. And now that I'm leaving, there you go. Like it didn't matter. So I mean, yeah, I am replaceable.
Yeah.
Anybody's
We
replaceable.
are all replaceable.
So, but you got your physical and your mental exhausting. And I felt that at Cisco because again, work, and I try to explain this to people. You working I was working almost 14 hours a day, but you don't get your schedule till 7 p.m. And a lot of people didn't understand when I was irritated. And the thing about that is, say you try to do, and this was back when Malachi, he was playing football. And I would try to plead with the the route guy, like, hey man, can you put me on a later route or whatever? That way I can drive out to Blount County to, watch this game and then make it back home by like 11 o'clock, get enough sleep, at least start at about 5 or 6. And so I was physically and mentally exhausted because, again, the duties of the job, you go into different areas, you got the paperwork, you're trying to, if you don't know the route, you're using your GPS. And I had this conversation with the guy at Cormor. I said, he was like, yeah, you always say, you worked at Cisco, you worked at Cisco. I said, I worked at Cisco when you couldn't talk on the phone. That's a big difference in talking on the phone. So I'll skip over a little bit. When I left Cisco, I went to Taylor. That was the first company. Well, Coca-Cola didn't have cameras in their trucks when I worked at Coca-Cola then. They got cameras now, but you can still talk on the phone. But the only difference with Cisco and Coca-Cola, you couldn't talk on the phone. If you that camera caught you with your phone, or you got some kind of, like, if I had my watch or touched my watch, you fired immediately.
Yeah.
They seen it on camera. So I was explaining that to one of the guys. I said, look, when I was at Cisco, we couldn't talk on the phone. We could talk on the phone once we got to our stops. So that right there, it was just different, because, but when I went to Taylor, and then I went to, Dearmer Oil bought us out. Then I went to O'Reilly. So these last 3 companies that I work for, you're able to talk on the phone. And that makes the job a little bit more pleasurable because you can conversate, you can take your mind off the job, you can have a conversation with a good friend, your loved ones, or somebody, and it kind of makes it a little bit more pleasurable. So, but as far as the physical, mental, the exhaustion, I was exhausted when I worked for Coke and I worked for Cisco at that point.
And two, even with the Coke, you had a lot of personal stuff going on as well. All these,
I was going through a custody battle.
Yeah, I dissect stuff. I will bring.
Yeah, I was going through a custody battle.
Eventually, that had you. It was a challenge within itself. So
that was tough.
From that was so it was a domino effect, because your personal life, it will affect your work life, vice versa. It did.
I kind of left it out.
No, well, I didn't.
Yeah, the Javies.
Yeah,
I had an attitude, but I was going through it though. I was going through it.
Right. So. That's what I have to remind you sometimes. Your season of learning was then, because I had to bail you out a couple of times myself. I'm like, oh man, what is up with you, dude? But anyway, that's a horse of another color.
Hey, why you have to bring you tell about the time?
No, don't worry about it. That's another podcast.
You bringing up old stuff.
But those old lessons are learned.
Yeah, that was a hard lesson. I got rolled up over there. Yeah. All right, dude. Hey, we gonna change stuff.
Yeah, we done.
So the hidden cause. Talk about how it affects the. So we was talking about this, the hidden cause. The mental health.
Yeah.
Sleep. It affects your sleep, your relationships, your physical health, your motivation. You can be tired. What do you say? I'm tired. I don't feel like doing nothing else.
Right.
Can't clean the house. Can't do anything. Can't do nothing.
Yeah, it's a domino effect.
Confidence and self-worth. So question is, how many people are surviving at work instead of thriving at life? That's the question.
That's a good question. And I can give a little bit of insight on it. I think sometimes too, we have jobs. And now that you are in life of other people, and you hear their struggles in life every single day, probably. And
every day.
Everybody has something going on, can't leave the job because this is where they are safe at, not necessarily safe at, but this is what they can do for now until they find something different. But maybe the next job don't allow the flexibility to do what they're already doing in their personal life. So you stay this job just to have that flexibility to say, get off early or to sleep late or to, I don't know, whatever it is, you kind of stay within that. You get complacent in that job and you don't leave. And whereas I told you the same thing, I said, you have educated yourself to where you're not stuck at a job. You're not
Correct.
you don't have to stay here because you've gotten your endorsements, you've gotten these things, all these levels. Just a matter of you deciding if I want to make that move or not. It's not that you can't.
Right.
It's I don't want to, or I don't want to right now.
Correct.
But you level that playing field to the point it's like, you know what? I got a good bench, so we're gonna play ball.
Right.
And where some people don't have that, they don't have that backup bench. It's like this is all I got, and I hear this is all I got. So I'm stuck here until blah 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 blah. Settle again. We're going back to settling. You settle for that because there is no other way out.
Well, you're right. There is no other way out, but you can. People can make some. I mean, just
Make
like
sacrifices. It's still challenging
sacrifices.
though. It's still
It is challenging.
challenging because of coming out that comfort zone. What's next? Because I always believe this: if you ever got fired from a job, start looking for another one.
When I got laid off, that was a reality check.
But it also was a mental thing for a long time. You was on the bridge at the same time too, because it was a mental thing. So it was a struggle because the whole process of man,
it's scary.
Now? Yeah.
It scared me. It put me and I will say for it put me in a bad place.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Because again, the first job that I found was the O'Reilly Auto Parts job, and it was a night job. I'm just thinking, I'm gonna survive. I got to survive. So I took the job. Never worked nights in my life, so I was scared at first, but then once I got into it, but then I kind of just was in my feelings about it, and I was just in it. But then once I realized that, okay, this night shift, this nightlife is not for me. Even though I was making really good money, and at one time I thought I was at peace, but then being by yourself too much, getting away from your family and friends, it put me in a bad depression.
Yeah.
Once I realized that, I was like, man, I'm slipping. I gotta get out of this. So I was in a bad place, but now that I'm grateful that I got the job and I'm grateful for the experience, but I got away from that now. I wouldn't do nights. I said I couldn't do nights. It's not for me. So, but yeah, that was challenging. It hurt. I was hurt because I got laid off. Put me in a bad place. So I got this quote card. I'm going to change the subject a bit.
Yeah.
So service to others is the rent you pay for your room here on earth. Muhammad Ali.
Like that.
I'm going to say it again. Service to others is the rent you pay for your room here on earth. Muhammad Ali.
That's good.
So
it's pretty deep too.
I mean, hey, you a knowledgeable guy, man. What's your take on it? I mean,
I love it. And we do. It's I mean, you can't even have anything to say about it. It says it all for itself.
I mean, I give of my heart, and I'm just a lot of people. Some people are givers, some people are takers.
Mm-hmm.
What I take out of this is just my personal is just being a service to others. It's just, to me, it's a beautiful thing when you're a service to people. And from a personal standpoint, if it feels me as far as, I speak gratitude in myself, but when I'm service, it's like serving coffee.
Yeah.
Doing stuff like that, it took me down to realize that, just being of service to people,
right,
it can be fulfilling. So
sure.
But some people are givers and some people are takers. But why do people stay? So back to the job thing. So people stay because of fear of change. You touched on this. Good benefits, supporting the family, comfort and familiarity. Is that right?
Yeah.
Lack of opportunities, and feeling too invested to leave. But everybody's situation is different.
Yeah.
And when I was at Coke, I about not left because I had 12 years in it, and I was comfortable with. I had my 4 weeks of vacation. I would break it up every 3 months, and I had it spread out. It was perfect.
Yeah.
And the thought of starting over when I went to Cisco, it made me sick because I'm like, man, I got to start at the bottom. I don't have for a month of vacation, and I invested, 12 years. I had already had 12 years invested, so that almost, even though I didn't like the route that I was on, I almost not left, but the money, that was why I left. So, so sometimes you got to know your worth.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, they don't know the worth, but know your worth, understanding your value, continuing to learn new skills. You got to build your confidence, negotiate when possible. One of the jobs that I took, I ain't gonna say the job, but I negotiated, some I negotiated some vacation time.
Yeah.
And again, it was to my advantage. So it worked out. And looking for healthier work environments. And like you said, when you get to a certain pay, like you always say, they pay you the money for a reason.
Yes.
The money comes with a lot of problems. You can go to school for whatever you want to go to school for. And this is just giving advice to the listeners. Research what you want to go to school. When you go to school, research as far as everything, the ins and the outs, because me being a truck driver, I had to build my personality. I had to build my communication skills, and I had to build all of that and people would tell you before I even started this podcast, I was shy in school. I didn't talk to nobody, but I didn't build this person until I started working at Coca-Cola. And then I had to deal with these hot-headed manager, maybe you go there, they already on fire. They pissed off, they cussing you out. So you go from a pissed off manager to a nice manager to I had to learn how to read body language, read facial expressions. And so now, and like I said, a lot of it can be toxic. So, and like you said, again, I had a lot going on in my life at different periods and at different companies I work for. But still, you got to look for healthier work. I say all that to say, look for healthier work environments because it's good for your mental health.
Like I said, going back to the whole, sometimes like I said, the money you get, they're not giving it to you. You earn it. Well, and we're not going to call them names on this one. A mutual, they went from one job making a lot more money. But it didn't work out because I'm thinking, that's why they gave you that much more money because the headaches are twice as bad.
But they got offered more money. Yeah. And they was like, and I was like, dang, that was good. I'm glad that you got offered that, but there was a reason why. When you get there, you see what you got to deal with. You see they're not cooperative, and it's like, oh, so they put me in this spot, giving me more money. Didn't even tell me about the individuals that I was going to be around. I was like, dang, I didn't even know. But I hated that it didn't work out, for my friend. But that's rough.
That's terrible. That's really terrible.
So you got and I'm at a point now, and I tell people, I mean, I work, I pay my bills, but I can take a pay cut. It all depends on, but I'll work for a certain amount, but I can take a pay cut. But what I won't do is put myself in a position where I'm chasing the money and I'm working all these hours trying to do this. And I've done that for too many years, man. And when you're younger, that's what you do when you're younger. So it's completely understandable versus you see people, they're older than me and they're taking trips, they're buying new cars and this and that. And I'm like, wait a minute, you're only getting older. You're not getting younger. Yeah. And you're at that $80,000, $85,000, $90,000, pay cap or pay, in that area. But you keep buying. You can't never pay off the stuff that you keep buying. Mm-hmm. That I don't understand about people.
Well, it's that old scenario that saying the more you have, the more you want, the more you make, the more you spend. That's what people do because they're thinking it's going to last forever.
But
most time it does, but they also they're putting themselves in a position of I can't go back because I got this. All of this got to be paid for.
It's got to be paid for.
It's got to be paid for because you don't want. There again, pride goes into the window. It's like, well, I can't let it go back either because now everybody's gonna know. Struggle to make it work. Try not to outlive your means.
But try not to outlive your means. But there's too many people doing it, and I'm at a point. Like I said, I can't do it because I have people counting on me, and if I screw up, they're gonna be out. So I have to be. And I say cognizant of what I do and be careful with the things that I do and my choices. So, but personal reflection, you know, and I said times I felt burnt out. Well, I talked about the burnt outs at Coca-Cola and Cisco. Lessons you learn through your trucking career. I've learned good and bad lessons, and I've learned as far as the money, chasing the money. I met some good people. I've learned good in work or good work habits and bad work habits.
Mm-hmm.
And what do y'all call it? Getting creative.
Oh my God, that's what they call me.
Getting creative. So I learned how to do those things, but you know, there's a right and wrong way to do things. So, but protecting your mental health, don't forget protecting your mental health. It always matters at your workplace, at your home. You just have to do that. So, solutions instead of complaints. So, set healthy boundaries, continue learning, and managing stress. You got to build an emergency fund if possible. Take care of your health, speak up respectfully, and remember that a job is not part of life. That a job is part of life is not their entire identity. And I had to, well, I tell people, I told somebody I identified as a truck driver. She's like, you're not a truck driver. She's like, you're who you are. But I said, I've been driving 20 years. I said, that's all I've known.
Yeah. Yeah.
So my questions for the audience. This is for, you can leave, as my nephew say, like, share, subscribe, comment below. Have you ever felt overworked and underpaid? What finally made you decide to stay or leave? What's one thing employers could do to improve morale? And I'm not talking about the pizza parties. Do y'all do that? Y'all don't do that, Coke, everybody.
No, I don't think so.
The companies I work for, they get pizza. They buy all these pizza. I'm thinking they feed everybody. It's like, okay, they eat the pizzas, they take them home, and that's it. Pizza parties. So do you think appreciation matters as much as pay? That's a question for the listeners. So closing message. Working hard is honorable, but sacrificing your health, your peace, and your happiness isn't a badge of honor. Know your worth, keep growing, and remember, no paycheck is worth losing yourself. If you're in a difficult season, keep preparing for the opportunities ahead while taking care of the person in the mirror.
Beautiful.
I mean, it's facts, man. So
nutshell.
The safety tip of the day: don't let other drivers rush you. I mean, you got aggressive drivers may tailgate you.
They may honk at you. 2 days ago, I'm thinking, man, I'm not gonna go any faster. I'm not. You're just going around. And you kind of got up about this, and I said, hey, I just threw my flashes on.
You can't do that, man.
I do. I will.
Like, come on, man.
They get up on you like, I'm not going to fast. I wasn't going faster before you pulled up on me. So what makes you think I'm going to, unless you get in this car and drive before me, we ain't going no faster. Now you don't aggravate me. So I'm kind of going to slow up now.
But like you always say, you never know what a person going through.
Yeah. Yeah. I just give them space. I go over and let y'all go ahead.
I back off. Like when people do that, like I had a guy, I was coming back from Crossville the other Thursday. Dude and pulled over in front of me. He flipped me, giving me the bird.
Oh,
he did
goodness.
blowing the horn. I'm sitting here like I'm in the truck and my energy level, like I said, because I got to keep my energy to drive back. And I'm looking at him thinking, you doing all of that. You in a little bitty, like a S10 truck. And I'm like, dude, I don't even care. Like, just keep going. Like, I ain't even worried about you. So I'm watching him ahead from where I'm at. He's just shooting around people. I'm just thinking, why is this dude? I don't know what his issue was. But he threw me the bird. I'm just like, okay, man, I can't argue with you because you in the small truck. So I just let him go on, man.
And I asked you, so I said, what happened 30 minutes before all this happened? Because that's what it started.
But he was obviously in a hurry because he was zooming in and out of traffic. So I let him go.
Playing checkers.
But yeah, you got to be careful. Just maintain safe following distance. And
not to cut you off too. With that being said, try not to come giving a confrontation about
Yeah,
that.
do not. This is
I
2026.
just realized that that's another thing you do not want to. Yeah, that could be bad.
People will shoot you, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I ain't gonna say most of the time, but here recently,
Yeah.
people they shooting people. It's sad, but they just, and there again, mental health. That you don't know what they dealing with, so they short tempered. And I don't care who they are. Now, if you mess with my family, that's a whole nother story. But I don't want nobody like putting me in danger or nothing like that. I just don't. I don't like that. So, but as far as confront somebody, I'm not gonna confront nobody. Not in my car.
No.
Not my truck. Now, but yeah, so you got to be careful with that. But got anything or
I
thing
think
to
we're
add?
good. We're good. We are good. We are good.
All right. Well, we appreciate y'all for listening. Thank you again. And man, as always, George, I appreciate you, brother.
Yeah. Y'all have a good one.
You have a good week.
It's the drip from me straight.